Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at history, examining this 18-year-old gaming computer that I found at the thrift store for just 20 bucks. Using the Wayback Machine, I was actually able to find this exact PC on Gateway's website back in 2003. If you wanted to purchase it back then with the monitor, keyboard, and mouse, and speakers, it would cost you a grand total of $2,000. Accounting for inflation, that is equivalent to over $2,800 in 2021. That's crazy. With that kind of budget today, you could easily build a top-of-the-line monster gaming machine and still have enough left over for a good monitor and your peripherals. I was surprised to learn that the computer still worked fine. Even though the computer only cost me $20, it is the most expensive thrift store computer I have ever purchased. I think that the employees base the price off how big the computer is. Even though the hard drive sounds like it is on its last legs, it still worked enough for the computer to be used. I knew that a computer from 2003 would not be able to run a modern operating system, and it would be a challenge to find the right software for this old computer. It's not recommended to connect Windows XP machines to the internet, and it's not like Steam would work with it anyways. Knowing this, I was actually able to find 5 computer game CDs at the same thrift store. Those ranged in price from 50 cents to $1. The 5 games cost me a total of $4. The first game I tried is actually a game that I do remember playing as a kid. Sim Coaster, known as Theme Park Inc. in other parts of the world, was released in 2001. The computer I played the game on as a child was not designed for gaming, so I had no hesitations that it would run well on a machine with a discrete GPU. It doesn't look great by today's standards, but I feel like if I gave it the chance, the game could still entertain me for a long time. The next game was another childhood favorite, Centipede. This is a 3D remake of the classic arcade game with the objective to shoot the centipede before it reaches the bottom of the screen. This 1998 version I remember being hard to play as a child. The music was definitely my favorite part then, and is still my favorite part now. Expectedly, it ran just fine. Next up is a game called Bionicle. Bionicle was a toy franchise owned by Lego, and I remember my brothers and I having lots of them as kids. I actually owned a Game Boy Advance Bionicle game as well, but I remember not enjoying it very much, and I hardly ever played it. There was, however, a Bionicle movie that I remember being obsessed with, and this video game is based off of that movie. The game was released in 2003, the same year as the computer. Of all the games I purchased, this one was the most recent and the most graphically demanding. This game was also available for the GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox. But Ugly Martians, Martian Boot Camp, was a game I had never heard of before. Doing a little research, I learned that But Ugly Martians was actually a TV show created in the United Kingdom. Its 26 episodes actually aired in the United States between 2002 and 2003. The game itself was rather boring, and it looked like you would just navigate your spaceship through mazes. This game ran fine on the old PC as well. The last game that I purchased was called Survival: The Ultimate Challenge. This game is described as a real-time strategy simulation that challenges the user to help stranded victims survive in a remote location with a variety of challenges. In conclusion, if you see an old dinosaur PC at the thrift store, should you buy it? For me, it comes down to one thing: nostalgia. The primary value of a computer this old is that you can play those old games you grew up with, assuming of course that you can find the software. You don't need to emulate anything, and you can relive your childhood computer experience. That kind of nostalgia is why people still pay good money for the original NES and Atari systems from back in the day, and why companies are still selling plug-and-play emulators of those old systems. If it sounds fun to you, I think $24 is a fair price for some nostalgia.